You can't control your results until you learn to control your mind. The truth is, most students lose not because they're weak, but because their minds are undisciplined.
Trattino.
Have you ever sat down to study and ended up scrolling your phone for hours, telling yourself, just 5 more minutes? That's exactly where Aarav was. A bright student, full of dreams, but trapped in a loop of distractions. His exams were just around the corner, yet his table was buried under dust-covered books, empty snack wrappers, and broken promises. Every night, he told himself, tomorrow I'll start. But tomorrow never came. He'd open his books, stare at a page for 5 minutes, then grab his phone, thinking, just one video. And that one video turned into an hour of endless scrolling. Deep down, Aarav wasn't lazy, he was lost. His mind had become his biggest enemy. The more he tried to focus, the louder his distractions became. One evening, while pretending to study, his father quietly entered the room. He placed a steaming cup of tea beside Aarav and said,
Do you know why you never finish what you start?
Aarav looked up, puzzled. His father continued, because your mind controls you, instead of you controlling your mind. Asterisk. Those words struck deep. Aarav realized that the real problem wasn't his schedule, his books, or his phone. The real problem was his mind. That night, he sat by his window, staring at the stars, and made a promise, not to study harder, not to work longer, but to discipline his mind. He whispered to himself,
If he can control my thoughts, he can control my life.
For the first time, Aarav understood something powerful. Success doesn't start with books, motivation, or luck. It starts with a disciplined mind, one that listens to you, obeys you, and pushes you forward even when you feel weak. And that's when everything began to change. The next morning, Aarav's alarm rang at 5 a.m. sharp. His eyes barely opened. His body screamed, sleep more, just 10 minutes. But this time, something inside whispered, no. Discipline your mind. He pushed off the blanket and stood up. That single act, getting out of bed when he didn't want to, was his first victory. At first, everything felt like torture. The cold water on his face. The silence of early morning. The weight of the books staring back at him. Every minute, his mind tried to pull him away. You deserve a break. Check your phone. You'll study later. But Aarav had made a decision. He wouldn't be a slave to his thoughts anymore. So, he started small. He built a routine. Blue book study for 1 hour, no distractions. Droplet drink water, stretch, then take a short walk. 9 o'clock back to studying again. He deleted every unnecessary app from his phone.
No social media, no gaming.
Just focus. At first, it was hard, painfully hard. His friends sent memes, videos, and jokes, but he stayed strong. Every time he resisted temptation, he felt stronger, like he was building an invisible muscle inside his brain. Days turned into weeks. The same boy who once couldn't study for 10 minutes was now spending hours in full concentration. His parents noticed the change. His teachers were shocked. Even Aarav couldn't believe it. One evening, his best friend asked, Bro, how are you doing this? How are you so focused now? Aarav smiled and said softly, It's not motivation. It's discipline. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when motivation disappears. He understood something most people never do. Success is not about feeling ready. It's about doing it even when you don't feel like it. And every time his mind whispered, You can't do this, Aarav answered, Watch me. Because now, it wasn't a fight against failure. It was a fight against his own weakness. And day by day, he was winning. Weeks passed. Exam season arrived. The moment of truth. Aarav walked into the exam hall, not with fear, but with calm confidence. His mind was clear, focused, and steady. While others panicked, he sat there silently, breathing deeply, whispering to himself, I've trained for this.
My mind listens to me now.
When the results were announced, something incredible happened. Aarav didn't just pass, he topped his class. But more than marks, he earned something far greater: self-respect. For the first time in his life, he felt proud not because of the grades he achieved, but because of the person he had become. The boy who once couldn't stay focused for 10 minutes had now mastered the art of controlling his own thoughts. A few weeks later, Aarav was invited to speak at the school assembly. Hundreds of students sat before him, many of them struggling just like he once did. He took the microphone, smiled, and said, "We all want success, but most of us wait for motivation.
We wait for the right mood, the right time, the right day. But the truth is, motivation fades.
Discipline doesn't." He paused, looked around, and continued. Discipline is not a punishment. It's power. It's the bridge between your goals and your results.
When you discipline your mind, your body follows. Your habits change. Your life changes.
The crowd was silent, every eye fixed on him. Then he said the words that would stay with everyone forever. If you can control your mind, you can control your destiny. The world's greatest power isn't strength, money, or talent. It's mental discipline. That day, Aarav wasn't just a student anymore. He became an inspiration, a living example that discipline can turn ordinary students into extraordinary achievers. And here's the truth he left them with. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be born talented.
You just need to discipline your mind.
Because once your mind obeys you, success has no choice but to follow you.